Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to GNR Central. And we've got a lot of more rumblings about what Guns N' Roses is going to be doing in the future. We had the story about Slash possibly recording new material with that Facebook post from one of the people who's working on his guitar amps. And it seems like there's rumors pointing that Guns N' Roses will be playing some more shows early next year. Now, I had previously reported that they would be possibly playing South America in the fall because that's when Guns N' Roses have played South America. And when I refer to the fall, I don't mean this coming fall. I mean fall of 2020 because that's just typically when they've played it. But there's another season in South America a lot of bands go playing, and that's around like the March, April time. And it seems like according to South American newspapers and even the South American Guns N' Roses forums, Guns N' Roses will be playing South America early next year. So it looks like the dates may have changed. So originally it was fall of next year. It looks like it may be more in the winter and spring. So according to the Facebook group Guns N' Roses News, which is a Portuguese fan club, I believe, they said Guns N' Roses will be playing Lollapalooza, and the band should open the festival in Chile and close in Argentina. So according to the news, Lollapalooza Chile, that completes 10 years in the next edition, will start its celebration with Guns N' Roses opening the first night that happens on March 27th. Therefore, the Argentinian edition that takes place on the same weekend as the Chilean one would have the band closing the festival on March 29th. Until the festival confirms the dates, this information is treated as rumor. So it's important to note that this is translated through Google Translate. And the Facebook group also posted an update saying, as we played firsthand, the band was in negotiations to play Brazil this year, but a festival changed the plans of the band, and that returns to the country in 2020 to play Lollapalooza in addition to playing Brazil. So Guns N' Roses should perform at the Chilean and Argentinian editions, besides having the show closed in Colombia. So some of the translations are a bit weird. The news that the band will play at the festival was given also by a separate newspaper. So to summarize, March 27th, 2020, they will be playing Argentina, apparently. March 29th, 2020, they'll be playing Chile. And April 5th to the 7th, they may be playing Lollapalooza in Brazil. Once we hear more information on this, guys, we'll keep you updated. I've also been hearing rumblings that Guns N' Roses are going to be playing Europe next summer, which would make sense. They played the festival circuit there a couple times already. Europe, they make a ton of money. They attract fans. They sell out those shows. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, especially if the rumor of new music is true. They can just continue touring if they do release a new album or whatever they're working on, or an EP. So let's go into our next news story. So 4 years ago, last week, it was an interview that changed the course of Guns N' Roses history. Slash was in Sweden. He gave an interview and he dropped a huge bombshell, and that was the fact that him and Axl Rose were now friends. And this is the interview that kickstarted all the reunion rumors. It was in August of 2015. Here's the interview, and he talks a bit about Donald Trump too, because at that time he wasn't president and he was running for president. And you hear Slash's thoughts on that stuff too. So here's what he had to say in that interview.
This is your third show in Sweden this year. Why do you keep coming back?
Well, we did the first two shows that we did were just because the Swedish audience is digging our record and digging us, and we love playing in Sweden. And then I got the opportunity to come do this, and I thought, I love coming back to Sweden, so here I am now.
What are you doing in Sweden except for performing?
Really nothing. I'm just coming up here and playing, jamming with this band here, Graveyard, and so representing for Marshall on these new phones and stuff that they got coming out.
I've heard that you made friends with Axl Rose again. How was that possible after all those years?
Yeah, it was probably way overdue, but it's very cool at this point. Let some of that sort of dispel some of that negative stuff that was going on for so long.
So will the Guns N' Roses ever perform together again?
Oh, I couldn't answer that one, though.
Why?
All right, let's get off the subject, because, that's an old one.
There's a big election coming up in the US. How do you feel about Donald Trump?
Oh, God. I guess I have to get... You're my first interview that somebody's asked me that. Well, it's quite the circus, isn't it? It's about as much as I can say. I'm really surprised I mean, it's a funny subject because he's really, you know, I don't think anybody expected him to take it this far, and we all thought it was laughable at first, but he's actually shown to be somebody that's pretty tenacious, and I think people appreciate his straightforwardness and the fact that he's not your typical full of shit politician, you know. I don't know if he's president material, as they call it, but, you know, it has been entertaining.
Who are you voting for?
At this point, it's too early to tell. I don't think there's anybody I'm really backing so far. You know.
Do you want to say something to the Swedish fans?
Well, I mean, I guess is everybody going to see this? It's just great to be back in Sweden. I wish I was staying longer, but we'll be out again next year. We'll have a new record out, and we'll be coming back for sure.
And this was kind of a surprising piece of news that came out. So David Lee Roth talked a bit about Axl Rose re-recording Chinese Democracy. So in a new episode of the new Roth show, Roth said there was a problem with the hi-hat that Axl Rose's drummer used on the album, and that Axl had the drumming redone for the entire record because he wasn't happy with that. So Roth said, "Continuity error, sorry, other side, I'm looking in the monitor. My suspender is twisted. We have to reshoot the whole thing." That's kind of an Axl Rose sort of thing. Axl Rose on Chinese Democracy detects a loose wing nut. No pun intended. The bottom pan of the hi-hat on one of the songs is clicking. We have to redo it, declares Axl. The track? No, the whole record. So that's what Roth shared about one of the stories from Chinese Democracy. And finally, finishing off with some Steven Adler news, it looks like his 1988 three-piece drum set is reportedly up for sale on eBay. So it's a 1988 Tama three-piece, purportedly once owned by Steven Adler, is up for grabs for $125,000. So at the time of recording this, it hasn't sold yet. And the seller's official description reads, 1988 Tama Rockstar Custom Faux Rock three-piece drum set owned and used by Steven Adler and Guns N' Roses. Ultra rare to find any gear from Guns N' Roses from in the day. This kit was used between 1988 to 1991. When it was sold in 1991, it was kept in pristine condition until recently discovered. Has original set of heads and comes completely with hardware symbols. When you see it in the pic, it is what comes with the set. It does not include the original. It does include the original heads. As you know, this will be very expensive to ship, so please keep that in mind. So as you guys remember, Adler was a drummer from 1985 to 1990 until he was eventually fired from the band due to his addiction, which caused him to spiral into depression and more drug use. But I'll tell you what, as much as I love Steven Adler, I would never pay that amount to have any of his drums. So that concludes today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, go check me out at gnrcentral.com for the latest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.